Sorry. It's particular to Weston. I haven't studied the other portions. I'm very pleased that they put a moratorium on the Molonglo section, because I understood that there was a lot of blasting that had to occur prior to them building, which trebles the price of the house blocks, so there is no affordable housing there. But that's specific to the northwestern development, is that many of those house blocks actually face full west. Sorry, the streets that they have the opportunity to build on face full west.
I think also there's a lot of granite in northwestern. Is that right? Granite on that hill.
No, there's.
This is John from Orlando School.
Sorry, yes, I'm an Orlando. I'd like to address 2 points. One's the Arboretum. I was teaching at the Western campus when we were building the Arboretum. Unfortunately, we drifted. There was no boundaries there, and they've identified part of it where we planted, and it's their land. I will say though that Mr. Barr didn't save the Arboretum. I still believe it's Commonwealth land and hasn't been gazetted yet for transfer to the... so I'd go back to state line if I were you.
I'm just sort of like sitting here listening, I think, okay, which is now the way
The
I
Arboretum,
present it.
the Arboretum belonged to City Parks, which was the top building that's in that country.
Yes, that's right. But if you come back where the
Never would.
no, but we at the Western campus we planted, which was the second, all of the fruit trees and all of the vines and that we planted. Then
Who's CIT planted or around
no, see,
CIT? Yeah. Like
Yes, no.
Does that include a vineyard? Is even a vineyard up here at the moment?
yes, well, there were 2 vineyards at one stage of the game. We started to drift down the ridge and got a bit carried away. We also had, I don't know if you recall, there used to be compost mounds there that were as high as the buildings. The other question I'd ask, if you ever did get back to state line, is what other blocks within the northwestern area are still zoned federal or Commonwealth and not part of the ACT. That question needs to be asked. I don't think the people who are here tonight would ask on that one.
Probably a question we can also get answers to from the NCA. This gentleman sort of told Will that the NCA has been very helpful in meetings, in fact encouraging.
Yeah.
And we've had joint meetings, not just council but Bar High, SIG and Bar High. This gentleman.
Sorry, second point. It was the words he used tonight was that's a land bank. The ridge is a land bank.
Save it for later.
Take it that it's not protected, it's not saved, it's a land bank, and when the heat goes out of the we'll see buildings going up there. He also referred to Simonston. Now they've done a land swap there with. Yes, sorry, that was the other one I was going to bring up.
Name's Ed Walkington, lived here since 1971 and actually live on Dixon Drive. So we've lived through the fires and we understand some of it. And I could talk about a lot of the past consultation, which has all come to naught, but I'm going to follow up on what Penny said, because some of the things that worry me is John Stanhope has been making statements which have been reported in the press about land release and who would develop it. And there's a word he uses which I can't remember, which basically, as I understand it, means you give it to a developer and he actually does the design and the layout of the blocks and the roads, and there's a word for it.
Englobo.
That's the word. One of the aspects...
What was the word?
Englobo. I think that's it. Englobo. I think that's the spelling. And it might be an acronym, I don't know, but I know John Stanhope has used it in talking about the land release in northwestern and the first suburbs of Molonglo Valley. And in one release which has been reported in the Canberra Times, it actually gave the number of blocks which were going to be released in 08-09, and at the top of the list was North Weston. To come back to my follow-up, who is actually going to do the layout, the design of what we are being presented with? Or are we still being presented with concepts? And I think largely what we've seen tonight is a continuation of the concepts that have been put forward in the various structure plans, as they call them, in the submissions that will go forward to the Minister and will go up the NCA path. And that worries me, that because what might be in the concepts and what might be the final answer can be two very different things. And to give you an idea, is the infrastructure going to be developed by the ACT government and controlled by the ACT government? Will the north-south arterial be built piecemeal, or will it be built from the word go? Or will different contractors do their design and development of that over a period of 15, 20 years? Because that's going to impact all of us who live, let me say, within 200 metres of street and drive, on what happens to traffic flows during the next 5 to 10 years as they develop the Molonglo Valley, let alone the Cotter Road. So we actually do need some answers before the final submissions go forward to the Minister on how the final or the actual development is going to happen. Because if we don't have those answers, we may be missing out on a number of things which we actually need to be making noise about.
So timelines for road construction?
Timelines and the manner of the actual development once it's approved. Because if it's let out by tender to a contractor to do the actual detailed design and development of North Weston, he may want to do something which is quite different to what is actually shown on that plan tonight.
Sorry, I just want to make a couple of very quick comments. My name's Trevor Wilson, I live in Holder. On the question of the ridge, I think we really ought to push harder to get them to give up the idea of keeping that medium density little block of houses opposite Hilda Street, right on top of above the Arboretum. They're not really going to get very many houses in there. They seem to want to put an access road through there. They can have the access road without houses. They don't. And there's plenty of other housing still around in the northwestern area, around the Defence College and below Orana School, down towards Street and Drive. So that's my first point. My second point is that about the Arboretum, they are calculating that we don't know what's in there, that the community doesn't know what's in there. John has just told us a bit because he's fessed up to what they did. My suggestion to get some attention onto what is really valuable in the Arboretum, and in my opinion it's the whole lot, whether it's legit or not, and then we should push for that to keep it as a public green space. So my suggestion to you is that you get a retired member of the staff of the CIT to run tours once or twice a month between now and the election, and you take a television camera team through there and show what's valuable and what's great about it.
We actually had a lot of problems getting cameras onto the CIT grounds. I went on my One Room campaign, and decided I'll contact the media. And then I decided, I might need permission to go, outside. And I made a mistake and rang the CIT, saying I've got half an hour, and they said, you can't possibly take cameras on site. This was their media advisor. And I decided, I never got the phone call, and we did it anyway. So the CIT was actually trying to block the access for the cameras, which really, I thought, why don't they want us there to save this? This was to me a real thing. I've actually got a planting plan of the CIT, so I know exactly what plants are on the plan. It was actually mapped in 2003. So yeah.
There's probably a lot of politics involved in